3 Tasmanian devils bouncing around. How we doing? It's the Groove Junction. Here we are again. How do we feel about being on a Friday now, John? How do you feel?
You know what? I actually quite like it. I do quite like it. There's not a lot of pressure. There's not as much pressure to get out what we want, because we want to be consistent with what we do.
Absolutely.
And I think it works better for you, if I'm honest. I think
Thanks,
it's better.
mate.
No, I do, because as I said before, I mean, I just sit here and turn up, and I don't really do much more than that, really.
I appreciate that. So welcome along to the Groove Junction. Here we are for another hatful adventure on a journey as a DJ into the world of what we talk about, which is the Groove Junction. So here we are again. We've got obviously our new spot now. It's on a Friday, so you can download us from all of your favourite podcast providers, and yeah, that's where we sit. So here we are. How's your week been, mate?
Yeah, busy. It's been busy, actually. Yeah. I'm just, you know what? I mean, I'm just trying to think of, like, you know, the good bits. I don't want to put out everything, like, you know, when I got up this morning and I had my toast and I had my coffee. I don't want to bore you with that side of my the week.
Okay, give me the highlight.
So, what was the highlight this week?
You went away.
I was going to say that.
It's got to be the biggest highlight.
Well, it is. I mean, it's half-term week here. So I decided I'm going to spend some quality time with the kids. Halloween for me is incredibly busy.
Yeah.
I've got some, like, 8 parties on the trot. So I decided to take a few days off, and we went to Disneyland Paris.
Yeah, now we're talking. Now we're talking.
And I'll tell you, I kind of knew that it goes, like, straight from, it goes from London to, and then up to Paris, and you get on another train and you go down to Disneyland. I never used to do that. It used to be able to just
it used to be direct, wasn't it?
It used to be. But you know what? That was kind of the fun of the journey, because we never actually told Clark where we was going. He thought we was going to Austria to watch the Sound of Music.
On a train. He felt that you were travelling all the way to Austria on a train.
He's a teenager. You know, if it ain't Grand Theft Auto, he's not interested. Do you know what I mean? So it was, and it was really good. And one thing I did notice about Disneyland, it's so clean. There's no rubbish anywhere. You don't see people dropping their rubbish. You know, like, we'll drive down the motorway and someone will, you know, throw their McDonald's wrappers out the window. You don't see any of that, you know. And it was good. It was really nice to spend a bit of quality time with the fam. Yeah, it was good. It was
great stuff. Yeah, brilliant. What did I do? So we had St Albans, silent disco on the Thursday and Friday. Very busy. Obviously, it always goes down well. St Albans, always a good gig. Was on the stage with Maggie and James.
Nice. She's quite energetic, isn't she, Maggie?
She's very energetic, Mags. Yeah,
she gives you a run for your money, doesn't she? She does.
She does a little bit. She does a little bit. She's got a lovely load of energy on stage, and so is James, to be fair. So there was 3 Tasmanian devils bouncing around on the stage on Thursday and Friday in St Albans, and then at the kids' party at the weekend, which another good little kids' party, as you do. So that was the weekend. And then looking forward, do you know what? I can't even think where I'm at right now with what I've got coming up. I'm like I said, and this is another reason why we've moved the Groove Junction to a Friday, is just so busy with everything. Hence why I'm not in my normal studio in the sense of at home. I'm still at work. That's how intense work is right now. But what have you got coming up? You've obviously had Disney.
Well, he's full steam ahead, if I'm honest. It is Halloween parties. I've got Halloween parties at a house party.
Spooky times.
Spooky times, yeah, you know that. Then I've got another kids' party, and I've got another kids' party. So there's a lot of children's parties.
It's that time of year.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do enjoy it. I mean, the fancy dress and, you know, and all of that. Some of the schools, they don't call it Halloween, they call it an autumnal disco or something like that. Yes, they don't like the word Halloween. Yeah, which is fair enough. That's, it's down to them.
Yeah,
you know, still get paid the same.
Different.
Doesn't make no odds to me. So, the next couple of weeks are busy, and then we're starting to roll into the Christmas period, I'm afraid.
Yeah, and we'll talk about the Christmas period as we get a little bit closer. Let's get Halloween out of the way, and then we'll talk about that. Let's talk about that. So obviously I did the St Albans gig. I had the party. I've got one party coming up, and then me and you are back out together.
I'm looking forward to it.
Bury St Edmunds again. For an 80s, 90s, and noughties silent disco.
No, I don't think it is.
Is it not?
I think it's just 80s.
Is it really?
Yeah, because my sister's coming to this one.
Okay.
And she's not seen me on stage before, so I'm quite looking forward to it.
It's just, I think it might be.
I'm gonna have to check it now.
Now that you're doing it, I'm logging in.
I'm sure it was just 80s.
Hold on a minute.
I know I'm on the Red channel. I know that much. Yeah,
you are.
The R&B disco hip.
80s, 90s, and noughties.
Is it really?
Yeah. I don't know why I doubted myself, John. You put doubt in my mind, and yes.
And I've got to check my diary now because
80s, 90s, and noughties. Good job I told you, because you would have turned up just with 80s. That would have been an interesting conversation.
Yeah, November the 8th, isn't it?
No, definitely not. It's the 9th. Honestly, I do apologise, everybody.
I'm messing about the date, but you're right. It does say 80s, 90s, and noughties in my diary.
Okay, brilliant.
Okay.
All right.
Either way, I'm looking forward to it.
As long as one of us is on point with what's going on, that's fair enough.
That's all that matters.
We've got a guest tonight. John, should we get him in?
I'm looking forward to this. Yes, let's do it. Let's not hang about.
After the break. Welcome back. Do you know what? I still love that jingle.
I'll tell you, I do.
Future.
When I do listen to, because I do download the podcast, even though I'm part of it. Yeah, I do download it, and I do listen to it like when I've got an hour drive home, and I do look forward to that advert because for some reason I haven't got the best car. I haven't got the best sound speaker in my sound system in my car. The bass drum and the funky, I love it, mate. Yeah.
So we've got a guest, John. We've got a guest.
Yes.
Somebody who I, as always, want to get on the show because it's interesting to hear different people's perceptions people's views on what they do, how they do it, where they do it, and it's always good getting on a new face and a new sound rather than listening to the John and Matt show each week.
Yeah.
So without
the John and Matt show has been quite successful.
Well, it's getting there. But let's not talk about us tonight. It's about a dear friend of the show.
Yeah.
Somebody who's very much engaged with what we're trying to do and to achieve. Please welcome to the show Scott Menham from Menhem Entertainment. There he is. Whoa. How you doing? What, you all right?
Yeah, good, thank you. You?
Yeah, thanks for jumping on, man.
No worries.
So yeah, we just felt let's reach out to another one of our DJs in the network that we know and who's sort of been listening to the Groove Junction, following us both in that online space. Obviously, we all got together and we met actually physically for the first time at the Photo Booth Expo, which is a few weeks ago now, and it was great chatting to you.
Yeah.
You are a man of knowledge, Scotty boy. You know your thing or two, and there's a few things that we want to get off our chest, and we're going to drill you down with some questions. But first, Scott, where are you based in the world, Scott? Where are you?
So I'm based in Swindon, which is in a county called Wiltshire. We border, I think it's 3 different counties. We border the county.
I don't need a geography lesson, Scott. It's fine.
Near Bristol, near Oxford, near Bath, that area. We're kind of in the middle along the M4 corridor.
Lovely. And Scott, how long have you been in the game of the DJ world?
Since I was 13, so 11 years.
So 11 years. So you're still a young whippersnapper.
You're only in your 20s. Wow.
Yeah, 24.
No way.
Yeah.
Half our age, man.
Let's not go there. So Scott, so you've been doing this since 13. So what made you then? Okay, firstly, what made you get into DJing? First of all, let's before we get into where you are now and what you do currently, what was the thing that actually go? Oh, I want to give that a go.
School really. So in school, I went to a public school, but the public school was an academy. And it was very focused on performing arts and things like that. So it was more of a performing arts academy type of school. So they were more into like the music, the drama, the dance, all that kind of thing, rather than kind of like the IT and stuff like that. So the school put on a lot of kind of performances. So they did like Billy Elliot, Hairspray, all of the kind of typical performances and things you would find in school.
Yeah.
So instead of being like putting my hand up going, I want to be Billy and Billy Elliot, I always used to like be, it sounds a bit weird, but instead of like, the school had a specific tech guy. So he was literally the guy who did all the camera work, the lighting work, the sound work for all the performances. So instead of, he wasn't really a teacher. He was kind of like my mate being like, oh yeah. So I kind of used to say to him, oh yeah, I want to help you out with the performances and things like that. So he used to kind of take me out of the lessons and give me that kind of like the pass to get out of the lessons to do all the tech with him while the shows were doing their rehearsals and stuff like that. And then I kind of got all into that and did all that kind of thing with him. Sorry, my lights have all gone off.
That's all right. We lost him. We've lost him. Oh, he's back.
And things like that. And then basically it all kind of grew from there. Did that until I left school. While I was in school, I was kind of like getting things for my birthday and Christmas, kind of from like Matty, some like the old flashy lights where you can turn up the sound sensitivity on the back of them.
Back in the day.
The old Cam Compact 10 system, I think it was. The tiny little speakers, little tiny 8-inch speakers with the big subwoofer, which you used to plug the little speakers into. So then I bought all that, did like shows and stuff in my own bedroom. So I started putting on my own kind of like events for my parents and stuff like that.
Okay.
And then it all went from there really. And then my mum's friend asked me to do a kids party for her child. And I got paid 25 quid. And that was my first ever gig.
25 subs.
Yeah.
25 quid.
25 quid. And look at him now. He's charging 1,000% more on top of that right now. So that was the early stage. So you are, I would say, very technical minded, Scott, in the sense of the conversations I had. You know your way around anything in a technical sense. You've got that ability. So what made you progress from doing that first birthday party, which you got 25 quid, to then progressing to where currently you are now?
Yeah, of course. So obviously in that kind of perspective, a lot of my mum's friends had kids that were younger than I was. So I was obviously 13 years old, and my mum's friends' kids were probably like 6, 7, let's say.
Yeah.
So obviously the word of mouth is kind of how it all worked and things like that. So they had their party, then the kids who had their party, my mum told about them, and then it kind of like that, and it just grew and grew and grew until kind of it was at the point where I've been doing kids parties so long, it then started encouraging people to book for 18th, 21st weddings. And bear in mind, at this point, I'm still only like 14, 15 years old, and I'm DJing someone's wedding, the biggest day of their life, bear in mind. So that's kind of like wow in itself.
But I guarantee at that age you didn't actually feel the pressure of that.
No.
You look back at it now and you go, oh my God, like how did I even cope doing that? But at the time you were like probably, if I'd been there, you were in that stage of, got a gig, I'm doing a wedding, this is going to be amazing, and you don't really take it on board.
No, some of the weddings, some of the weddings were so funny, and some of the experiences obviously you get from doing it for so long. You hear so many different things, and you hear so many people saying so many different things as well. So there's lots of kind of funny stories in there. I had someone come up to me after the groom, and he was like, Yeah, good party, really good. Thanks for that. I didn't even want to marry her anyway, though. But you
just wanted it for the party.
And I was pretty much like, I think I was 60, and I turned to my dad and I went, "What's he just
really?
For?"
Yeah.
Must be a Wiltshire thing. That
I don't know.
I'm just saying, find that out there.
We wouldn't dare say something like that.
No, we would never say that. So obviously it sort of progressed, and then you then started to build what you thought was then going to be a bit of a business for you.
Yeah, so in 2018, I rebranded the business. At 18 years old, I rebranded from DJ Menhem, as it was called, to Menhem Entertainment, which it now is called. And from that point on, I kind of was like, look, you making this much money from just doing a disco, a wedding disco, you've got this money, yeah? You think if you could have a wedding disco, if you could have, I don't know, a photo booth, if you could have love letters, if you could have uplighting, then when you sit down and you have that meeting with that client, you are going to say, look, this is what we can actually offer you. So a lot of the time, it depends, obviously, where the clients go first. So the clients could first go to you to book their disco. That's the most important thing in their event, is to have great music and a great atmosphere. And they come to you and they say, we want to book. You can then offer all these different things. So you are first in there before any other supplier gets the opportunity to actually speak to that client.
Like a bit of a one-stop shop.
100%.
Yeah.
And that, with your changing direction of changing your name and having that model, how has it moved from you setting up that baseline of this is what I'm going to go out and achieve to where you are now?
Yeah, so my as my dad said, he used to say to me, my kind of like my bread, my kind of like what I was good at, my business was built off as was that kids party thing, kids party experience. People were booking. The prices obviously went up and up and up. It went like 25, 65, 85, 135 and kind of like that. But now it's at the point where the bigger bookings, I wouldn't say a kids party is not big, but someone's wedding, anniversary parties, things like that, they're now coming in and wanting to book for the last probably 4 years. So my booking schedule gets booked up with so many of these bigger wedding events that the kids' parties, in my eyes, have taken a back burner. So now I've said, look, I can offer you music at your party, but I'm not going to play any party games or anything like that. So if you are looking for a DJ that wants to do party games and interact, that is now unfortunately not me. Yeah, I'm more going for that wedding demographic now. So I've kind of put that on the back burner and I've gone for that wedding demographic, which has worked. Obviously, I offer my packages. So I offer classic, which is just the disco, the deluxe, which is the disco in the photo booth, and the luxury, which is the disco photo booth, uplighting, love letters, things like that. And it's not even 2025 yet, and I've already got 2 bookings for the same day for the same package, which is the disco and photo booth. So
nice.
Same day. Same day.
Are you going to split yourself
up? How
are
you going to do that?
Yeah.
You got people that know.
You just set yourself someone in, will you?
Yeah, so I've got people, I wouldn't really say I sub them in. It's kind of like their setup is the exact replica of what I do. It's one of those. You can do work for me and I will give you work, but your setup has to look like this. Otherwise, you won't receive work.
And that's a really good point, actually, in the sense of having you market yourself and you've got all your photographs on your website. Yeah. You've set up the way you want it.
Yeah.
And that's your standard. That's where you are. And to have that approach of going, I'm more than happy to give you work, but you see that picture?
Yeah.
That picture, you need to replicate that. If you want to work and I'll give you the work at that, at that price, this is what I want it to be looking like, because that's my brand. That's what I'm marketing myself at. That's a really interesting point. I've never really thought about that. I mean, I don't have anybody that does it for me. It's just me. I know John has a few people, but you've got a slightly different take on that, John.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I mean, if a booking comes in and I'm already booked, I will say to him, look, unfortunately, I am already booked. I have got other DJs work for me that do the same sort of music, because the setup is very, very similar, and they are. I mean, the booth looks the same, the lights look the same. we're all quite large as well, so you're not really going to get a lot of difference. So, but yeah, I mean,
now that's an Essex thing, not a Wiltshire thing. Yeah.
Well, they're trying to make a pie and mash a recognised thing, and it can't be anyway. But there, but yeah, no, it's for me, I hear what you're saying, Scott. And I know where I've worked for other people, they've said like, "Have you got this set up?" And I'm like, "No." And they say, "Well, I can't give it to you. I need someone who's got exactly the same setup." You know, so I get it. I do get it, especially like, you know, bride and grooms have been flicking through a brochure or an online brochure, and they give it, I really want that, and then all of a sudden you've got another DJ turn up and it don't look like the picture.
No, so we've got kind of like our Facebook and our Instagram and our website, and a lot of the time they kind of screenshot the photos and they will send them to us, and they will go, "Will it look something like this?" And we're like, "Yes, it will." So obviously they've got the tubes, things like that. So in a packet of tubes, you get 4. Half the time, what we put out is 2. So if I'm out, I can take 2. If another DJ's out and they don't have my tubes, they can take 2 of my tubes. All they need is the wireless dongle, and then white lights. Obviously, I've sprayed mine white now. So people now, I basically said, "Look, white lights, please." So one of my DJs has already bought the white both light in MH150s, which you've got, Matt. Yeah. So he's got those now, and then obviously the Equinox booth. As well.
Nice, yeah.
It's a nice. I like it. I like the USP to it. I think that, you know, it sets you apart. And like you said, people do contact you and say, you know, in their mind they have this is what I want it to look like. This is what I want. I've lost him again. He's in the dark. He's back again. I thought I was going blind. But people have a perception of what they want, and when in their head they've already thought that's I'm expecting to see that.
Yeah.
So when people do turn up, they're like, "Well, that's not what I booked. I booked something," and I get that. And you're always going to potentially get people that are going to come back and go, "Well, I paid for that. You didn't supply me that."
No, 100%.
Have you ever had that happen?
No. And that's why, obviously, even if we did, obviously, that's why I brought in that kind of like, your setup has to look like this kind of situation. So it's me, another DJ. So I've got me and 2 others. So me and another DJ have pretty much the exact same. And then there's another DJ that is a bit who kind of has a matching setup, but he's a car driver, doesn't have a trailer, doesn't have that. The other DJ has a van, so he can take his Novo Pro podiums and all of that kind of thing. But obviously, hopefully in the future wise, what I'm planning on doing is having kind of like a default setup where I go, "Look, what don't you have? I've got it here." Mm-hmm. And then they go out, they come to me, come to my unit, take the kit they need. So if they need white moving heads, and 2 white gravity poles, and I don't know, 2 sets of white Audi speakers, they can just come to me, grab what they need. They've got their own Equinox booth, they've got their own white light, they've got their own uplights. They can just come and grab and go.
Makes sense. Yeah, makes sense. I like. It's a really nice way of putting, actually, of going, "You're representing me. If you want to represent me, this is where I need you to be." And you set those ground rules quite well. So obviously we met. Obviously we've met online previously, but in the real world, we met at the Photo Booth Expo. Now, if there isn't anything you don't know about photo booths, it's not worth knowing. To be totally honest with you, literally, I would have stood by your side the entire time walking around the expo, and would have just sponged everything I possibly could from everything you were saying about that particular brand, that particular software. You are so into it. Tell me about your photo booth side of your business and what you do.
Yeah, of course. So we offer currently 2 photo pods. Yeah. So they are the pod version of a photo booth. We find that if you call it a photo pod, people don't like it. People do not like that you are calling an item a photo pod. Yeah. It is an open air photo booth.
Oh.
Because it's not
still making note of this one.
It's not enclosed.
So it's open
air. It is an open air photo booth.
Open air photo booth.
Yeah, I've got it open. Yeah, thanks, mate. Got that. Yeah.
So we call it that is because we've got backdrops of it. So if you go into a photo booth, an enclosed one, you will stand in there or sit in there. You will have a backdrop. You will have your camera.
Nice.
It is open air. We prefer the open air ones, we say to our clients, because instead of having a usual normal photo booth where you can fit 2 to 3 people in our photo booth, you can fit 10.
20. Right, okay, yeah.
Yeah?
Because it's open air.
Because it's open air. So we say that because it's more of a sale point to them. They think,
good point.
Awesome.
Their understanding.
Yeah, we can then have the bride goes, all right, they can have me and all my bridesmaids in it then, and that's perfect. Yeah, of course we can. And then the groom and the groomsmen, perfect. Yeah, we can. It's one of those where it's the sale point of it. If you're calling it
keep talking, Scott. I'm just going to log on to my website page now and make some adjustments. Fine.
If they call it a pod, they just think it's this thing that's shoved in the corner and you take photos on it.
Yeah,
that's
good point.
That's what a pod is, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's a thing that goes in the corner and they take a photo.
Very good, very good. They didn't look at it like that.
Open air
photo booth.
Photo booth. Yeah. Wow. Amazing. Like it. It's a really interesting one. So what software do you use on yours?
I use Luma Booth.
I'm
looking at switching. Apparently Luma Booth having a couple of updates soon, which I won't share too much about, but obviously there's
can't leave it like that, can you?
There's some better softwares out there, but things like Breeze, you got the Photo Booth Tyco software, you've got there's loads to be fair.
There's a lot.
Yeah, there's loads. Luma, but obviously the cheapest one that for what obviously if you want to keep it on a budget is Luma Booth.
Yeah.
Reason being is you pay I think about £18 to £16 a month, and you get 2 devices that are able to be connected to that. So obviously I've got 2 booths, so I pay that one subscription, and that one subscription obviously then generates through the 2 photo booths that I could have out.
Nice.
Yeah, like it.
Nice. Have you seen an increase in your open air photo booth being utilised more than previous? Do you think there's been a bit of a rise in the photo booth market, or is it just been fairly similar?
So we changed the way we price things. We used to price things at a Americans call it an a la carte kind of thing. So an add-on way. So you have, this is your disco. If you want the photo booth, it's this much extra. If you want the uplights, it's that much extra. If you want the love letters, it's that much extra. And they add it on. We then changed to packages. We then changed to disco photo booth, and everything else. Pretty much disco photo booth and everything else. So we changed our pricing, which I would say probably 80% of our weddings book the deluxe. I would say 15% book the luxury.
Right, okay.
I would say 5% book the cheapest package.
Okay.
5%.
Okay, that's interesting.
Well, sounds like you've marketed yourself into a nice little
area. The whole most popular. There it is. Yeah. In the middle, most expensive first, cheapest last. They look at the most expensive first, look at the cheapest last.
That's very clever the way that's very clever how you do it, like, most expensive first and cheaper. Yeah, I like that. That's clever.
Because then when they look at, obviously they're looking that way, aren't they? I don't know which one you guys can see, but when you look at your website, when you look at a website, you normally look one side to the other, and most people do.
Yeah.
So if you have your most expensive package on the side most people look first, that's the first thing they're going to see. So they're going to read through everything else and then get to your cheapest and read through that and then go, actually, I prefer the one in the middle with the photo booth and disco one, which is the one we're like, come on.
Trying to push.
Come on. Yeah. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, I get that.
Because we used to do a whole thing where they book the disco. And if you book the photo booth, if you book it for the whole duration of the disco time, you get the photo booth half price.
Makes sense.
Which was a bit Shirley Burley, but we made £200 from that photo booth every event.
Yeah, so you're already, knowing how much the photo pods, as you buy them, a selfie pod, which you then market it as a open air photo booth.
Correct.
You are definitely in profit immediately anyway at that point.
Yeah, I think my business turnover from the photo booths last year was, the year before I bought the photo booths was 20,000. The year I bought the photo booths and started putting them out was 32,000.
Okay, there you go.
Wow.
So minus, I don't know, £2,000 off of that for the build of the booth, the printer ink, the staff pay. Then if you think probably about 10 grand, you probably profited. And that went towards my second one, which then I bought. The first one I built, the second one I bought.
And that brings me on to, as you've just spurred me to mention your building skills. Now, you just recently built your own DJ booth stand, haven't you?
Yeah. It's going out for the first time this weekend. So
interesting.
Yeah,
nice.
I did see some pictures at the expo that what you'd done. Very
very you're a very skilled gentleman in the making.
100%.
Not just a very good DJ. He's got carpentry hands.
Yeah.
He's got carpentry hands.
Yeah.
Very good. So I'm looking forward to seeing those pictures.
And my dad. It's very much my dad. I come up with the ideas, and I'm like, Dad, this is what I want to do. How would you recommend I would?
How would you recommend it? Can you show me how you would do it, Dad? Yeah, I know it. Yeah. It's the sort of thing I do with my father-in-law.
And then he's there with he's there with the router, like.
Yeah, of course he is. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing those pictures when they when you push those out. That would be good. What's the future hold for Menhem Entertainment, Scotty?
It's very much one of those things. Menhem Entertainment is the DJ side of a business. I want to move myself and some of my time into more of an audiovisual hire company side of things, so people can come in, hire microphones, mic stands, lighting, sound equipment, things like that. Column arrays, all the line arrays, all that kind of crazy stuff. That's kind of one of the ways I want to go to it. I don't want to just go to my DJ business and just be like, I'm not doing that anymore, because that's the one, because that's my bread and butter. So
makes sense.
It's kind of like, that's what I know. So me learning how to do all the audiovisual side of things, like having like a digital mixer with like 16 inputs and all like aux outputs, and you kind of look at it and you're like, what?
Where'd you start?
Exactly that. Where'd you start?
So you sit in the office with like your iPad with the Behringer XR app up, like flicking, and then when you go out and do a live event, it's so cool. You can go and stand at the back of everyone in front of the stage, whip out the iPad and just change the levels. It's so clever and things like that. But I did my first one a couple of months ago in August, and that was great. Just the experience of it, kind of like you rock up, you don't just rock up, you got prep and everything like that, but you turn up and you're kind of there with your tops on, with your brand logo on, and you're on ladders, kind of like cooking, lighting up and safety chaining them and all this. And it's such a cool experience. I think that's the bit I love. I love the tech. Yeah, I love this. I love like all the gubbins are, they've got to get this, you got to put that into there. Oh, I could do that wirelessly. Do you know what I mean? And all that. The DJ side of it, I love it. Don't get me wrong, but it's the technical ability and the what if I take this part and paint it kind of thing? How would it look? Do you know what I mean? And things like that. Which I'm
sending you some lights now. I'm just gonna.
It's all done, and they look ace. But yeah, so DJ business wise, keep it growing, keep bookings coming in. I want to get DJs and take them off their own business roster.
Okay.
So I want them to come in, be taught how to run a business, be taught how to DJ, be taught how to set up, be taught how to be professional, be taught how to MC. Bring them in, mold them to how I want them to be, and then they work for me. It's not like this guy had his own business and he works for me. They work for me.
Sounds like it's the Menem DJ school of Hard Knocks. That's what it is.
One of those is kind of like one of the big things that I'm looking towards is having people kind of not run their own business as well as working alongside me doing work for me. I want them to go out and them to be Menhem Entertainment, not them to go out and be like...
You don't want that conflict of interest, do you?
No. Even though I've one of my best friends is one of my DJs. he's a good guy, but he runs his own DJ business in Swindon as well.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a bit, it's not competition, because if I'm booked and I kind of think, oh, well, I don't want another DJ out that night, I'll just say, go look at this guy, and they can go and book through him.
Yeah.
Because obviously, like any business, some people obviously, it's some people do it as a hobby. Some people do it as a side job. Some people do it as a part-time job. For me, it's my full-time job. For me, it's a business. For me, if a DJ is going out for me, I am going to take a healthy profit. Because at the end of the day, you're going out under my name. It's my booking, you're going out under my name. Do you know what I mean? So they will be told how much they're getting paid. Do you want the work? Do you not want the work? And then I know how much profit I'm going to make off of that one event. Because at the end of the day, half the time, most of the time, they're using my equipment. It's my name, my booking. They're just going to go out, do the work, set up, come home, not have to think about music, contacts, meetings, consultations. They don't have to think about none of that. They can just rock up. Hi, I'm the DJ. Do the job. Go home. Forget about it. Send me an invoice. Ching. They get paid.
Yeah. Nice. Sounds like they all sus, mate.
Sounds like the future's bright in Wiltshire, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
It does indeed. Just before we go, so Scott, you joined us 2 weeks ago now for a silent disco in Swindon, your hometown, at the Steam Museum. You jumped on stage with me. How did you find your experience of your first ever silent disco?
It was wicked.
Good fun, isn't it?
It was great. Do you know what? It's such a different experience compared to a normal kind of like wedding or a normal birthday gig. It's such a different experience because obviously you can't hear the music out loud. But
there's no PA system, is there?
The experience, like you're not feeling the boom, 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 like running through where you can normally feel it punching your chest. You know what I mean? I
don't know. When Matt jumps up and down on the stage, you can feel the bouncing, can't you, Matt? Let's be honest. Not me. But I'm slim and athletic. I'm like a feather bouncing on that stage, mate.
Yeah, you just keep kidding yourself, Colley. All right. So ultimately, you enjoyed it. You were beaming from start to finish. It has to be said. You did a great job, mate. You did a really good job. I was really pleased that you did it for us, and obviously being a local lad to Swindon, it was helpful in that context for us as a team. But to have you on the bill was great, and obviously noticed your partner Sadie, she massively enjoyed herself. It was quite clear to see. She came for the late session. She'd had a couple of sherbets before she arrived. But it was good, and you were great on stage, and I'm pleased you enjoyed that experience. They are fun, and until you do it, you don't really know.
No,
you don't get it.
100%.
You can see all of my videos and do all that sort of stuff, but until you've actually done it, and lived and breathed it, you don't do it. Yeah, totally. Thanks for joining us, Scott. Scott, great having you on. Thanks for jumping on tonight and
worries.
Give us a little bit of insight into your world down in Wiltshire, surrounded by other counties, which he doesn't know because the geography lesson wasn't particularly that great. But we appreciate it, Scott.
Mate. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, mate. Take care. All right, we'll speak to you soon.
No worries. Thanks, guys. Take a steady.
Cheers, mate.
Every time we get a guest, I get a little bit like gobsmacked, a little bit, because it's great hearing people, what they're doing, how they're marketing certain bits and pieces. And do you know what? I don't care. I am stealing.
I like that. Are we going to say open air?
The open air. That's it. The open air photo booth. I'm stealing it.
Yeah, man.
I'm sorry. I'm nicking it. It's going in.
I mean, I've called mine like the selfie pod, like since day one. But now he's said that, you think, oh yeah, I like that. And, my motto, sharing is caring.
Oh, I haven't heard that one before.
No. Well,
no.
That's my motto.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I'm cheers, Scott. I'm stealing it.
Yeah.
It's gonna. That's what I'm gonna call it now, Ron. But it's interesting, and it's great to see someone once again, somebody from a young age, like we had JF Discos a few weeks back ago, another young guy, young DJ doing it. Scott's in his 20s, and he's built up a very, very healthy reputation in the Swindon area.
And he knows where he wants to go.
And he's got other DJs working for him as well. And it's great. I love the fact that these younger guys are doing it and have the urge and have the hunger to go and get it. And it's great. I love that. I think it's brilliant.
I do. It's good to get new people into the industry.
Yeah, massively.
And he say was 24 years old. So he knows. What he's done's great. He started like me. He started off with the kids stuff. Word of mouth. I think that's the best. There's best advertisement you can get.
Word of mouth is where you can't beat word of mouth, because if somebody's come to you through word of mouth, they are going to book you.
100%. 100%.
If you've come in from a recommendation through word of mouth, that person is going to book you.
Yeah.
There's no other way around it. They're booking you.
No. I just like his whole strategy for his business. I thought it was very interesting, about how he lays things out on his website. I thought, I did think about that. But so things like that, it's very clever. And again, this podcast, the Groove Junction, it is a stepping stone. It is a learning platform as well as, the chit chat and chuckles that we have.
We've taken something away from this tonight.
Exactly.
We're rebranding our selfie pods into something else. It's what it works.
No, best of luck to him. I hope that it does work. And I'm glad he enjoyed the silent discos as well.
Yeah, I did as well. I knew he would. But I say that to everybody. Unless you've tried it in front of a few hundred, I think there was like 600, 550, 600 at the Swindon gig. You've done it. We've done it in front of 1,400 people. It is great. It's a great feeling. It's a great atmosphere. And until you've done it, my videos, I like to think do a little bit of justice in relation to what we capture, but ultimately, they're great nights, and everyone loves them.
Yeah,
everyone loves them.
I love them. I can't wait for more.
So,
good. Interesting.
Great show tonight, man. Great show.
Yeah, man. Really good. Really liked it. Really
great
good
stuff. Right, should we say goodbyes?
I think we could say goodbye.
Yeah, thank you once again, everybody, for listening to this episode of the Groove Junction. We hope you've enjoyed it. Drop us a little line. Let us know if you've enjoyed it, because it's always great to know these little bits and pieces. But we will see you same time, same place next week on the Groove Junction on all of your favourite platforms where you obtain your podcasts. That's where we're at.
That is exactly where we're at.
Exactly that.
We'll be there. Until next week, my friend.
Adios.
I was going to say, you've got to say goodbye to me. Don't be rude. Don't leave me hanging.
I thought you were going to say it before me.
What? Say what?
Goodbye.
I'll see you then.
Yeah, all right. Adios. See you, mate. Au revoir. Oh, yeah, the French thing. Yeah, see, look, you go to France and you come back fluent.
Yeah, exactly, mate. That's it. That's about as much. I can understand what they were saying out there.
Right, let's get out of here. Let's go. Let's see you later, man.
See you later.